Hey everybody, it's Mickey, and we are back today with the second installment of my Fall Decorate With Me series. Today we are going to be decorating the family room and the dining room. We're going to be making the family room nice and cozy for the season, and we will be doing a little Halloween magic in the dining room. So if you are new here, I hope you'll take a minute to subscribe. I put out new videos every week about all things home. I thought we would get started today here in the family room. This is where we gather as a family, and I really want this space to be cozy and colorful for the season. I wanted to give you a little reminder as to what this space looked like during the summer months before I remove all of the decor so that we can start with a clean slate. Today we're going to be decorating my chalk painted cabinet, cozy up the sofa area, decorate the coffee table, and add a little bit of color to the fireplace. So I've gathered here all of the things that I think I'm going to be using in this space. So many of these pieces I have been using for years. I am really trying to use what I already have before I purchase anything new. Although I'm sure you can spot some of the new pieces that I shared in my fall haul video. So I'm really excited to show you how I'm going to use them in this space. Let's start with the china cabinet, which is always one of my most favorite things to decorate. This is such a beautiful piece and the first thing that you notice in this space. I always like to add a sign of the season in the back of the cabinet, and for fall I'm going to be using this beautiful copper colored autumn sign that I found at Hobby Lobby a couple years ago. It's still available there today, and it's one of my absolute favorites that I have 2 of them in my collection. I'm adding a set of these beautiful Starry Night glass pumpkins that I found on QVC. Aren't these just so pretty? They have like twinkle lights inside that add that perfect amount of sparkle. I have a string of battery operated lights strung along the lamb's ear garden that I always have in this space, and I think the 2 together will be so beautiful at night. I always like to include seasonal dishes in my arrangements here on the china cabinet, and for that I like to use this wooden charger plate along with this vintage metal dish rack that I found on Amazon. I like it so much because it allows me to add, just 3 or 4 plates to my display here. I have a large collection of seasonal and holiday plates, and I think that this is a great way to include them in my decorating. The plates that I am using today are from a collection from David Carter Brown. I have had these for over 20 years and have used them every year since I got them. They are from the Pumpkin Hollow collection, and they're so adorable. Each plate is a little different. It has a Halloween or fall scene containing owls, cats, pumpkins, and the man in the moon. I am also adding a Rae Dunn gourd canister. It's the perfect color orange for this display. Around it, I'm going to add a white wooden bead garland. I like to hang it a little bit over the shelf. And then I'm going to be adding a set of Rae Dunn measuring cups with a little pumpkin on the top. I have this little collection of these metal pumpkin men. I added one to the front hallway that you saw in that video, and this one I'm going to add to the china cabinet here. I collected these over several years. I was only able to find them in a gift shop down in Ocean City, Maryland. I only have 3 in my collection, and I would really love to find more. Nothing is ever complete in my house unless it has a family photo in it, and this is a picture of my daughter Rebecca from a few years ago. I found this cute pumpkin frame at Hobby Lobby, and I just recently found them online to order a couple more. I will leave a link to it down below for you because I really think this is like the perfect frame for the fall season. Finally, I'm just going to add some fall leaves to add a little bit of color to the lamb's ear garland, and I think this part of our decorating is all done. To the top of the cabinet, I'm going to be adding another one of those wreaths that I found at Big Lots last year. This is the same wreath that I have hung on the cabinet in my front hallway. These are just my favorite colors of fall. I love the greens and the coppers and oranges, along with the white pumpkins in this wreath. I just think that it is so beautiful. The china cabinet is all done. I think it looks just great. I went ahead and I turned the lights on in my sparkly pumpkins and in the garland just to get a little idea of what it will look like when it's a little bit darker in the room. I think that it came out just beautiful. I say this every year, but I would just love to keep fall decor up all year long. It is my absolute favorite, and I think that my house looks its best in the fall. So let's move over to the sofa and the coffee table. I really want this area to be cozy and colorful, and to start off, I think I'm going to add a nice cozy blanket to the back of my sofa. If you remember, I picked up this super soft blanket at Home Goods. It's a mixture of the colors of rust and tan and cream, and I think that it's just going to go perfectly. And if you remember, I also picked up some matching pillows at the at-home store, and I'm just going to add those to some of the pillows that I already have. I like to always be sure that whatever I have here on the sofa is usable and comfortable. To us, there's nothing better than a nice cozy blanket, a soft pillow, and quiet conversation. Plus, I don't know if you've ever noticed this or not, but there is always at least one teddy bear in every room of my house. Moving on to the coffee table now, I always have this large galvanized metal lantern, and I like to add a bow to this for, whatever season we are in, and I keep them from year to year. This bow is made from ribbon that I found at Michael's a couple years ago. I really love the colors in this. It has that pretty rust that you can find in the throw on the sofa. It has the oranges and coppers that reflect back to that beautiful wreath that hangs on the china cabinet. Changing the bow for the season and adding a couple matching floral picks, it's the simplest way to change a room over to the new season. Ribbon is one of the most budget-friendly ways to decorate any room in the house. So I have quite a few bows in this room. I do have a video where I show you step by step how to make these big fluffy bows, and I'm going to leave a link to it down below for you. Now, I not only have a bow on the lantern on my coffee table, there's a big bow on the matching lantern behind our sofa. I also added next to it that barn art piece that I found at Hobby Lobby in my most recent fall haul. There is also a big fluffy bow on my antique typewriter. I decorate my typewriters for every season, and the one here in the den has a beautiful bow on it, along with another one of those felt pumpkins. And then the pine cone hanging on my cabinet here also has a big fluffy bow on it. Pumpkins and pine cones are my all-time favorite things. Now, this pine cone is very special because my son carried it back with him from a major hike that he did a few years ago in California. We're going to move on to the fireplace, and honestly, there is really not much to do here because I keep it pretty much the same almost all year long. The wreath that I have on top of the mantle is one that I only change out at Christmas time. The other times of the year, I just change out some of the flowers to reflect the season that we're in. For fall, I added some rust and copper color flowers to the wreath. There's also a moss-covered pumpkin there, and these small changes help to bring it, into fall without having to change the entire look. I'm going to add a little bit of color to the mantle by adding these small wooden pumpkins that I found at Hobby Lobby to my candlesticks. I think they're going to be a great little stand-in for a candle. I'm just going to add a coaster to the top of the candlestick here so that these wooden pumpkins can sit on top. Now the other thing I want to do is to hang this adorable pumpkin garland under my mantelpiece. I always have these two garlands of wooden beads here, and I think that the addition of this felt pumpkin garland really does soften it up a bit. For now, I think that the family room is ready for fall. Maybe further into the season, we will add a thing or two, but for now, I am really happy with the results. I think it adds a lot of color and warmth to this space. So now we're gonna head into the dining room. It's getting very stormy here in Virginia, which will be just perfect because we are going to add a little Halloween magic to my dining room. So we are going to get started here decorating our dining room. I have already removed all of the summer decor, and again, we are starting with pretty much a clean slate. For the last few years, I have decorated the dining room with a Halloween theme. It has been really fun because it gives us the opportunity, to celebrate my favorite holiday all season long. It's really fun when my little people come over to visit and we have a fun place to have lunch together or snacks or just sit and do some Halloween crafts. So again, I have gathered together everything that I think I'm going to use in this space, and as you can see, it's a lot of stuff. I have a ton of Halloween decorations. A lot of them I have had for decades. To me, Halloween is such a fun holiday. There's no gifts to buy, there's no big dinners to make. It's just a fun time to celebrate and spend time with those little people in your life. I started off decorating my china cabinet here. As you can probably tell, I really love garlands. I especially love wood garlands and felt garlands, so I found this really cool Halloween garland at HomeGoods. I had shared it in my fall haul video, and I thought here in the dining room was the perfect place to add it to my other garlands on my china cabinet. This is the perfect color scheme for this room. I also added a big fluffy Halloween bow to the pine cone that I have hanging here on the door of my china cabinet, along with that little Hocus Pocus sign that I had gotten a few years ago from the Target dollar spot. So let's decorate the table. I always think that the tablescape is like, the main event in the dining room, and for Halloween, it is always so much fun to put together. I'm going to be using this black, orange, and white plaid table runner that I had found at Target years ago. I think that it is the perfect subtle backdrop for everything else that I'm going to be adding to the table. So for the place settings, I am going to be using this wooden charger plate as the base because I like that it is thick and it kind of raises the place setting up a little bit to give it a little bit more of a presence. Then I'm going to be adding a very simple ruffled edge black charger plate that I found at Hobby Lobby on sale for $1. And then I will use this beautiful cream color plate that was such a great HomeGoods find several years ago. For the napkin, I'm just going to be using a traditional black and orange check cloth napkin. And then I found these awesome Halloween plates on Amazon. They are from a company called Certified International. It's their spooky Halloween collection, and they are just so cute. They are nice and bright, and they have all those traditional Halloween colors. There's a spider, pumpkin, a cat, and bats, and I think that they are perfect for this table. To add a lot of color to the table, I'm going to be adding this fun fabric garland that I found this year at Michael's, which I also shared in that fall haul video. I love this garland. Again, it has all those traditional Halloween colors that I just love. It has a bunch of different fabrics, so it gives the table a lot of color and a lot of texture. I am a very traditional Halloween color fan. I know that it has become so popular to decorate for Halloween in pinks and purples and blacks, but to me, nothing beats that traditional orange and black. I'm making a little space in the middle of the garland to add my black pedestal, which holds probably my favorite Halloween piece of all time, and that is my black Ray Dunn cauldron with the witch's hat on top. Now these are actually two different Ray Dunn pieces. The cauldron came with like a regular lid on it, and this witch's hat is actually a chip and dip plate, which just happens to fit perfectly on top of the cauldron. And to me, I could not think of a better centerpiece for my Halloween table. On each side, I'm just going to add a couple of candles. The larger one sits on a plain black wooden candle holder, and the candle itself is a white battery-operated candle. I have pretty much switched completely over to battery-operated candles, at least for entertaining purposes. I always have one of my favorite scented candles burning in the kitchen, but at meals, I have completely stopped using regular candles. It gives me less to worry about, and I don't have to watch the little ones so closely around them. I really do love this table. I think that it came out so cute. Now, the lighting is a little off in the dining room. Like I said, we are having so many storms today, and I have all the lights on in hopes that you're able to see everything really well. I think that decorating for Halloween needs to be colorful and full of fun and not taken too seriously. It could be why it's my most favorite holiday. Next, we're going to be decorating my Silent Giant antique desk. I have a lot of favorite furniture pieces in my home, and this has got to be one of my most favorite things that I own. It has a lot of sentimental value to it, and it's just a special piece to me, and I really love decorating it for every season. Now, I'm not going to remove all of the decor from this, but I am going to clear off the top and add an orange and black placemat as my base. I've added back this metal and wood Lazy Susan that I use all the time. It always holds my antique books, and it's the perfect base to add decor. I'm switching out the lanterns to add another set of those lanterns that I found on QVC. I used a set of these in my front hallway as well. I think that they have a real vintage look to them, and I really love the battery operated candlestick on the inside, and the black goes of course really well with our color theme today. And of course, the lantern is the perfect spot to add another one of those big fluffy Halloween bows. I'm adding here a trick-or-treat wooden sign that I found at Michael's, and the wooden 31 pieces I found years ago at the Target dollar spot. I'm also adding a little bit of color by just adding a few leaf picks to the greens. Moving below, I'm adding this adorable ghost chalkboard DIY that I made last year using my Cricut. I'll leave a link to that video down below for you. I'm also adding this cute little haunted house postcard, and finally just one of those felt pumpkins. Everything is very simple but very much Halloween inspired. This space on my china cabinet I always use for serving pieces, and Halloween is no different. As I said before, I have a big collection of seasonal and holiday dishes, and this is the perfect place to show them off. I am a bit of a collector of Joanna Parker. She is one of my favorite designers, and I collect mainly Halloween and Christmas. Now, I have a few pieces from the Carnival Cottage collection that I like to use as a tea set. To display them, I'm just going to be using these two black charger plates and use them kind of like a tray. So on the next tray, I'm going to be keeping a small collection of my Halloween plates. We do really like to use this room as like a lunch spot or to have a fun dessert. I like to keep these plates out throughout the season so that they are really easy to grab and use them when we need them. If you remember, a few years back, the Target dollar spot had these glass gumball machine jars that everybody went crazy over. I was one of those people. I turned several of them into candy jars, and I have a couple that I created for Halloween that I always have filled up with candy corn, which I know is a controversial candy choice, but you know, it only comes out like once a year, and it's really fun to have on hand. I'm just going to add these candy jars to the back of the china cabinet, and this spot is ready for the season. Lastly, in this room, I have a wreath that I always have up on the vintage photo door, and for the season, I have a big fluffy bow made out of the ribbon that I shared with you in my fall haul that we found at Michael's. Also on the wreath is a Joanna Parker candy corn sign that goes perfectly with our theme today. I have more of my collection displayed in the cabinet in the corner of the room, and with that, our dining room decorating is complete. So thank you all so much for watching the second video in my fall decorating series. Next week we are going to be decorating the heart of the home, the kitchen. This is going to be a really fun video. There will be tiered tray decorations, cabinet decorations, a beautiful tablescape, and of course you know there's going to be a delicious fall recipe included. I cannot wait to see you there. So if you are new here, please join our communities over on Facebook and Instagram at My Bashful Life, and don't forget to subscribe. I'd love to have you all back as part of our ever-growing YouTube family. So until I see you in that next video, I hope that you love the life that you have, be kind to each other, stay safe, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!